based on who he puts in your life. Marriage is about love, trust, and friendship and unity. We marry for sickness and health to death do us part. Our daughter Shannon loved you with all of her heart. Your children loved you to the moon and back. Shannon's family was her world. Shannon put a crown on your head. But unfortunately, the day that you took their life, God removed that crown. We loved you like a son. We trusted you. Your faithful wife trusted you. Your children adored you, and they also trusted you.
Before we begin, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more in-depth true crime stories and investigations. Your support helps us bring these important stories to light. In a quiet Colorado neighborhood, nestled within the seemingly perfect suburban landscape, a horrifying crime unfolded, one that would shock the nation and reveal the terrifying reality of a man who hid his monstrous nature beneath a carefully crafted mask. This is the tragic case of Chris Watts, the husband and father who annihilated his entire family in pursuit of a new life. August 13, 2018. It was a regular Monday morning in Frederick, Colorado, a small, peaceful town where crime was rare and families felt safe. But that morning, something was terribly wrong. A call was placed to the police by a concerned friend, Nicole Atkinson. She had been trying to reach her friend, Shannon Watts, all morning. Texts, calls, no response. Shannon was 15 weeks pregnant and had just returned home from a work trip late the previous night. It wasn't like her to go off the grid, especially not with her two young daughters, Bella and Celeste. When officers arrived at the Watts home, they were met by Chris Watts, a seemingly worried husband who claimed he had no idea where his wife and daughters were.
What you doing? What's that? Yeah.
We were out of town for a business trip this weekend.
Right.
And I dropped her off at 2 o'clock this morning. She's 15 weeks pregnant. She wasn't feeling well, and she had a doctor's appointment this morning at 9, and I told her to let me know if she needed me to take her. She's got 2 little girls. And she was very distraught over the weekend, wasn't eating normally or drinking, and we kept trying to force it on her because she's pregnant. Her husband and her supposedly are separating, but she didn't know this. She thought they were just having issues. He disclosed that to me today.
Okay.
As I called him and I was like, have you talked or heard from Shanann since she left for work this morning? Because I can't get a hold of her. I work truck.
Okay, that's what I'm asking. There's not
The girls went on a play date, but they're 4 and 2. She went on a play date. Why wouldn't she take her? She had a doctor's appointment this morning at 9 and she didn't go to the doctor's appointment.
Okay. No answer on the phone. Husband's on his way.
Supposedly, but he said that 30 minutes ago when I called him because it's 45 minutes out still. And I know the code is door.
You do?
I do, but there's a band on it. There's a, no, it'll press everything to do it.
Do you mind calling him and seeing if we can get a passcode to this and give me permission to go in? I'm just gonna check the back, see if I can see anything.
When officers arrived at the Watts home, they were met by Chris Watts, a seemingly worried husband who claimed he had no idea where his wife and daughters were. He told police Shannon had taken the girls to a friend's house, but something about his demeanor seemed off. There was no urgency in his voice, no real panic. The house was in order. Shannon's purse, phone, and keys were still inside. Her car was parked in the garage, car seats still in place. She had no reason to leave on foot, let alone vanish completely.
Any friends she would be hanging out with? I know. I guess her parents are out of state.
Across country, North Carolina.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's not happening. Nobody's heard from her, nobody's seen her.
Right.
Within hours, the case became a full-blown missing persons investigation. Police, friends, and neighbors searched tirelessly for clues. Chris even made a public plea on television, begging for their return.
Right now it's got K9 units, the sheriff's department. Everybody's like they're doing their best right now to figure out like if they can get a scent, see where they went. If they went on foot, they went in a car, or they went somewhere. And right now it's just like they've been on point. They're going through the house trying to get a scent, and hopefully they can pick something up to where it's going to lead to something.
What happened? Your wife came home. Tell me what's.
She came home from the airport 2 a.m. and I left around 5:15. She was still here, and like about 12:10 in that afternoon, her friend Nicole showed up at the door Like I had texted Shanann a few times that day, called her, say, but she never got back to me, but she wasn't getting back to any of her people as well. And that's what really concerned a lot of people, is like, if she's not getting back to her, like if she doesn't get back to me, that's fine, like she gets busy during the day, but she didn't get back to her people, which was very concerning. And Nicole called me when she was at the door, and that's when I came home. And then walked in the house and nothing was vanished. Nothing was here. I mean, she wasn't here. The kids weren't here. Nobody was here.
What's your wife's name?
Shanann. S-H-A-N-A-N-N.
What's your kids?
Bella and Celeste.
How do you spell Celeste?
C-E-L-E-S-T-E.
How old are your daughters?
4. Bella's 4. Celeste is 3.
And so, how many times did you try calling her?
I called her 3 times, texted her about 3 times just to say, what's going on? Like because after I called her and texted her once, it was like, maybe she was just busy. Like she'd just gotten back, like everybody's probably calling her from her trip. She just got back from Arizona, and I figured she was just busy. But when her friend showed up, that's what it was like. It registered like, all right, this isn't right.
Do you think she just took off? Do you think?
I mean, right now I don't even want to just like throw anything out there. Like, I hope that she's somewhere safe right now and with the kids. But I mean, could she just taken off? I don't know. But if somebody has her and they're not safe, like I want them back now. Like that's what's in my head. Like if they're safe right now, they're gonna come back. But if they're not safe right now, that's the not knowing part. Like if they're not safe, last night I had every light in the house on. I was hoping that I would just ran over by the kids running in the door and just like barrel rushing me, but it didn't happen. And it was just a traumatic night trying to be here.
I'm gonna ask some kind of tough questions. Your relationship with the kids.
My kids are my life. I mean, those smiles light up my life. And this, like, I mean, last night, like during when they usually eat dinner, it was just like I missed them. Like, I mean, I missed telling them, hey, you got to eat that, or you're not gonna get your dessert. Just like you're not gonna get your snack after. I missed that. Like I missed them. Cuddle up on their couches. They have like a Minnie Mouse couch and a Sophia couch that they cuddle up on and watch, Bubble Guppies or something. And it was just like, it was tearing me apart last night, and I needed that. I needed that last night, and for nobody to be here last night and to go into their rooms and know that I wasn't going to turn the rain machines on, and I know that I wasn't going to turn their monitor on, know I wasn't going to kiss them to bed tonight. That's why last night was just horrible. I couldn't do it. I want everybody to just come home. Like wherever they're at, come home. That's what I want.
Where was she gone for? She was on. She came back Sunday. You said that too at night.
Yeah, because her flight got delayed from Arizona because of like other storms around the nation. So she's supposed to get home like 11. She got home at like 1:48. She got in bed about 2.
What was she gone for? Like family trip or what?
It was a Thrive direct sales. It was a local event that was down there between a bunch of leaders in the company.
And that day she was back. I mean,
I left work early that morning, like 5:15, 5:30. So like she barely got into bed pretty much.
This might be a tough question, but did you guys get into an argument before she left?
It wasn't like an argument. We had an emotional conversation, but I'll leave it at that. But I just want them back. I just want them to come back. And if they're not safe right now, that's what's tearing me apart. Because if they are safe, they're coming back. But if they're not, this has got to stop. Like somebody has to come forward.
You spoken to her family, like her parents?
Yeah, they've been in constant contact, like every hour. I mean, everybody back in North Carolina and the East Coast. I mean, from Maine to Florida.
What is her parents saying to you? Like,
they're just like if they need to get on a flight, just let them know. Because I mean, they feel helpless right now because they're on the opposite side of the country. I mean, Colorado is. I mean, you can't just drive around and look. I mean, it's just like you wouldn't really know what you're looking for. That's what the cops pretty much told me. That first day I was like, I want to get out and drive around this. You wouldn't know what to look for.
Last couple questions. What is law enforcement, what have the police or the sheriffs or your neighbors, what's police saying to you?
Right now, this is what they're doing right now is with the canines in the sense. I think this is the biggest thing. This is the biggest thing they've done so far, because yesterday the Frederick Police Department did all the searching of the house and tried to gather whatever information they could. And with the detectives, officers, and sergeants, and today it's, I mean, obviously with all the activity that's around, there's a lot going on around here, and I really hope that all this can lead to something positive.
What did your neighbors, did they see anything? Did your neighbors see anything?
No, like the police department went door to door asking, like, cameras and everything, just like nothing.
And my last question, if you have any of them, feel free to step in. My last question is, if your wife can see this, if she can watch these, what would you like to tell your wife and your kids?
Shanann, Bella, Celeste, if you're out there, just come back. Like, if somebody has her, just please bring her back. I need to see everybody. I need to see everybody again. This house is not complete without anybody here. Please bring her back.
But behind his crocodile tears was a chilling truth, one that would soon unravel in the most shocking way. As investigators dug deeper, cracks in Chris's story began to show. His behavior was unusual, too calm, too composed. Neighbors noted that he had been acting strangely, pacing back and forth, fidgeting. Surveillance footage from a neighbor's house showed Chris backing his truck into the garage early that morning, loading something into it. But what? Detectives questioned Chris for hours. They brought in trained FBI agents who knew how to spot a liar, and Chris was failing every test.
It happened. At first, I really thought maybe she was just at somebody's house, just decompressing. What's going on, Steve? Yeah. But after today, like with the onslaught of all the cars, all the police cars, all the news, all the canine units, it's making me lean the other direction about someone took her. Okay. But it's just, if someone took her, it would have to have been someone she knew. Because there's no sign of anything like being disturbed, broken. Mm-hmm. But like, that's the way I'm leaning now. At first I thought for real she was just decompressing somewhere. I thought she was safe. Mm-hmm. Even though everything in the house was left there. But now it's just, after the day with the news crews and everything, it feels more the other direction. And it's freaking me out. Because I have no idea where they are. And this is like, that's what's driving me nuts. It's like, when I told the news crew, like, if she's out there, like, just come home. Like, if someone has her, or like not just has her, but she's at somebody's house and she's just decompressing, it's time to come back. Because now this is real. Okay. This has gone to a different level.
Absolutely. Okay. Do you have an inkling of if it's good or bad?
Yesterday, I would have thought that she was safe and it was good, that she would come home. Today, it's more on the other side. I don't think that she would let it get this far if she was just decompressing somewhere. I mean, she's not talking to anybody. I don't feel like the love we have is there anymore. Okay. And it's just like, I don't feel like, if we want to stay together for the kids, I'm not sure if that's going to work. Mm-hmm. Like, bringing us,
what you told him?
Yes. Okay. Like, having another baby, bringing us in this relationship, do you think this is going to work? Mm-hmm. With us being together, or separation, I think is going to be the best possible route for us. And that's when, like, all the crying and everything proceeded, and it was very hard just to talk about that. Mm-hmm. But I needed to do it face to face. Okay. And I needed to see her face, like, while I did it. I couldn't text, phone, whatever. I needed to be face to face and be able to see her and know that she was going to be at least reciprocating back to me.
Oh, what did she say?
She said that she wanted to kind of work on it, mm-hmm. But if that's the way I was feeling, then she respects that.
Okay.
And she said that most of the time when you have kids and you have a relationship where people like they don't love each other anymore, they fall out of love, this connection, that having kids, even bringing a new baby into the equation, doesn't always work as well as keeping the couple happy and the kids happy. It's like it almost is like better if the two are on different sides.
Yeah, you don't want to spend your whole marriage just liking each other and faking for the kids.
Yes, and that's one thing.
Okay. Is that accurate? I don't
Oh, yeah, that's totally accurate.
Okay.
I mean, you don't want to be the people parading around with like a mask on when the kids are around, and then when the kids go to sleep, you just go your separate ways.
Yeah.
It's like that's what I don't want.
And at about an hour into the interview, the detective told Chris that he looked suspicious. I mean, she and the girls just happened to disappear the same day that he said he wanted to separate. When does that ever happen?
Can we talk about something that's kind of hard to talk about? So when I work investigations like this, I have to keep an open mind on everything. Okay. And part of keeping an open mind is listening to you talk about your wife and your marriage, and the day she goes missing is the day that you guys have marital discord. Okay? So you can understand what I'm thinking about you.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
Makes me sick to my stomach, honestly. Like, I know, like, I've talked to a few of my friends who's like, this does not look good on you. I'm like, I know. It's like, if people knew that we were having marital issues, they're gonna look at me. Especially with the way everything looks. And it honestly just makes me sick to my stomach because this is something that I would never do. Ever. I know, like, you have to look at every vantage point. This is something I would never do to my kids or my wife. At all. I'm not sure, like, what I could do, like, to make people believe that, just because if they knew we were having marital discord, they would automatically look at me. But there's no, I would harm anybody in my family. At all. And I know we were having marital discord, and we had that conversation that morning, and then she goes, we have no idea where she is, or the kids. I promise you that I had nothing to do with any of that.
Are you telling me the truth?
I'm telling you the absolute truth.
Why should I believe you?
Because I'm a very trustworthy person, and the people that do know me, they know how I'm a calm person. I am not an argumentative person. I am a person that's never going to be abusive or physical in any kind of relationship. I would never harm my kids. I would never harm my wife. I mean, you can talk to any of my friends, any of her friends. They know me. They know I'm a low-key guy that's quiet. I'm not about confrontation. I'm not about anything that elevates to that level. I mean, like, if someone yells at me, screams at me, I just take it and I just try to get it by the wayside and get it back to where it's just a cool conversation to where, like, none of that gets to that height, because I am not that person.
Then, the biggest revelation of all, Chris Watts was having an affair. Her name was Nicole Kessinger, a coworker Chris had been secretly seeing for weeks. Nicole told investigators that Chris had told her he was in the process of divorcing Shanann, that they were separating. But in reality, Shanann had no idea. She believed they were working on their marriage, excited about their growing family. The pressure was building, and Chris Watts was running out of time. Investigators gave him one last chance, take a polygraph. Confidently, he agreed. The results? He failed. Miserably. At that moment, Chris Watts knew the walls were closing in. He broke down and, with his father present, finally confessed, but only partially. He claimed he had strangled Shanann in a fit of rage after she had killed their daughters. But detectives weren't buying it. They knew the truth was much darker. Finally, after relentless questioning, Chris Watts admitted the full, horrifying truth. That morning, while Shanann slept, Chris strangled her to death in their bedroom. As her lifeless body lay on the bed, their daughters, Bella, 4, and Celeste, 3, walked in, confused. "What's wrong with Mommy?" Bella asked. Chris calmly told them Mommy wasn't feeling well. Then, in a chilling sequence of events, he loaded Shannon's body into his truck, placing his 2 little girls beside their dead mother, and drove 45 minutes to an isolated oil field owned by his employer. There, he smothered Celeste first, covering her face with a blanket as her tiny body struggled beneath him. Bella, witnessing everything, begged him not to do it. "Daddy, no," she cried. But her pleas meant nothing. Chris Watts took his own daughter's life in the same heartless way. One by one, he disposed of their bodies. His daughters were stuffed into oil tanks, their small bodies forced through 8-inch openings. Shannon, still pregnant with their unborn son, was buried in a shallow grave nearby. Chris Watts returned home, showered, and went to work as if nothing had happened. That same day, he gave interviews to news stations, pleading for his family's return, while knowing they were never coming back. But the evidence was overwhelming. Soon, Chris was arrested and charged with murder.
Like, I was obviously in my training. I went to 10 weeks for training. I've been a polygger for about 5 years. I went to the best school in the country. So I want you to have confidence in the fact that you had nothing to do with this disappearance. Like, we're going to find that out today. Okay? I have the best training that they offer in the United States. We use the most validated testing. That's the way I'm going to ask you the questions. So believe me, if you had nothing to do with this, I will be able to show them that today. Okay? So that should give you some confidence that, this is how, you're going to be cleared today if you had nothing to do with it, okay?
And it was just like, all right, so at this point I'm hoping, all right, she's at a friend's house, she's safe, and she's just decompressing, or she's safe. But that night, as I'm calling hospitals and hotels, and it's there's nothing, there's nothing there, nobody's had her check in, there's nothing at all. And then that was just traumatic because I had every light in the house on, just in case, I went late in bed, but I didn't sleep. I was just sitting there, I had friends that came over. Nick and Amanda came over for a little while, and they showed support. My friends Dave and Jeremy came over, they showed support. Shannon's friend Lauren came over, she showed support. Another friend, Melissa, came by that I didn't know that she showed support. Everybody's just I don't know why this happened or how this happened, but I hope that she's okay, type thing. Mm-hmm. And just I was just hoping that I would get that knock on the door or a phone call or a text. Her phone, they have her phone, hopefully maybe it's a number I don't know. Hopefully it's a burner phone or some kind of phone she bought, and she could just text me and call me hey, I'm okay. Something. Or just get a knock on the door and then the kids just run in. And I was just it didn't happen. And when I was going through that night, just trying to process everything, I miss the kids sitting at the dinner table and having to tell them to eat their dinner, and I miss them throwing their chicken nuggets at me. I was, when I went to their rooms, just kind of make their beds. And it's I wasn't gonna turn the rain machines on, I wasn't gonna read them a book. I wasn't gonna kiss them goodnight. I wasn't gonna do that. I wasn't gonna play in the playroom. I wasn't giving them their nightly snack, their nighttime snack. I wasn't giving them their medicine. I wasn't getting them dressed for bed. All that it just hit me. It's I'm not turning the monitor on to watch them because they're not here. Where are they? And then I was just I didn't even want to stay in the house that night, but I knew I had to, just in case maybe they came home, maybe they would come in that front door, garage door, or something would happen. But nothing happened that night. So I just laid in bed and took phone calls and texts from all her friends I couldn't sleep either, and just asking for prayers, just asking prayers in general, just these kids are gonna come home. They're gonna come home safe. And the next day, detective, he called me about 2 a.m. just saying hey, we're gonna do the missing persons report, and I'll get that all going. But yeah, it's like the next day, like when everything like started happening as far as the news crews like pulling in, and then all the K9 units and the drones flying over my house, it was just like, it all set in like, this is not, she's not, they think something happened. Because all this right here, this means that, okay, my worst fear, that's where this is going right now. Because I thought she was just at somebody's house and she was safe. But now, it's going the other direction. With all this going on, with the dogs coming in, with the news media, everything just kind of happening, it's like, all right, this has gone to a totally different direction. And it's like, I was when all my friends like were coming over to give me some support, I knew that like, all right, like I was happy all my friends came over to support. I didn't want to be alone at that point in time. Like this is the time you don't want to be alone at all. And my friends are supporting me all through this, and I just want to find them. I want them to come home safe, like wherever they are. I hope they are safe, and I really hope they can just come home.
After the polygraph test, Chris was left alone for a little while. 2 agents came back into the room, and that's when they shared the results with Chris.
So it is completely clear that you were not honest during the testing. I think you already know that. You did not pass the polygraph test.
Okay.
Okay. So now we need to talk about what actually happened. And I feel like you're probably ready to do that.
I didn't lie to you on that polygraph, I promise. Chris, I know. Stop. It's time. Just stop for a minute. Take a deep breath. I want you to take a deep breath right now.
There's a reason you feel sick to your stomach. And when people hold stuff inside, it makes you physically ill. And I can just tell on your face, I could tell from the second you walked in that you were wanting to just come clean and just be done with this. And I appreciate that because you knew sitting down in that chair that you weren't going to pass today, and you knew I was going to find out because I told you that. And then you continued to stay knowing that you could, at the end, say, you know what, I just need to get this off my chest. Like, I just need to tell you what happened. We're not here to play games. We're not here to do any of that with you. We just want to know what happened. So can you start from the beginning and tell us what happened?
Everything that I have told you, I did not lie on this polygraph. I don't know how much I can tell you right now. Like, I did not.
It's not even an option right now because you did not pass the polygraph. So I know you were being deceptive. So that's not even an issue right now. The issue right now is what happened to Shanann, Bella, and Celeste. That's the issue right now.
Okay.
Okay. So let's talk about that. I know you want to tell us. I can see it in your face. Holding this lie in is going to do nothing for you.
I know that. Like, okay. I'm not like trying to like cover things up. Like,
yeah, but you kind of are because it's normal. Normal people would do that. Normal people that make a mistake initially are going to go, I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't do anything. That's normal. I would expect that. It's just like if you ask your kid, did you write on the wall? And they go, no. And you're like, you have a marker on your hand. Like, I know you just wrote on the wall. And they're like, oh, okay. That's a natural reaction that someone's going to initially lie about something like that and then eventually tell the truth. So this is your eventually telling the truth time. This is where the rubber meets the road, Chris. Like, don't let this continue any longer, please.
I'm not trying to make anything continue. Like, I want them back home, like.
But you know they're not coming back home. You know that.
Some really weird things about Shanann, and that she still has doubts about Chris's guilt. Take a listen.
It was always a little strange that she always said a lot of things about Chris in front of me that I didn't like. Like, this isn't the kind of person I would date. He doesn't know how to do this, or he doesn't know how to do that. He looks like a skater boy. look at his hair. Look how much stuff he puts on his hair. It was just on and on and on, and I just got a bad feeling.
And they got married in 2012. Did they get married in North Carolina?
They did.
How was that?
We didn't attend.
Really?
We didn't attend because Shanann and I just couldn't get along. And I didn't like the way she treated him.
What do you know about their marriage and their issues?
Oh, very little. Very little. You can only observe. I could only observe what I saw when I was around them. Christopher always seemed anxious, and he when she needed something, I mean, he would run. He wouldn't walk, he would run, he would get it. He just always seemed to be right there at her beck and call.
And did that seem odd to you? Or?
Very odd. It was very odd. He just seemed nervous. But I think as the years went on, I think it just being in that kind of a relationship, which the social worker even said that marriage should have ended a long time ago.
Shanann's pregnancy and what did Chris tell you about that? Was he excited?
No, I don't think he was. I think it was a shock to him. And he said that they have been talking about divorce, that they are not compatible anymore, and he was not happy anymore. And I finally thought he's finally seen the light.
And I take it Chris had never been in trouble with the law?
Never. He's got one speeding ticket and didn't even know about that.
Tell me what happened when they were reported missing. What did you find out? How did you find out? Who told you?
I think Ronnie called me. Ronnie called me and said that they're missing, and I thought, I don't believe it. I didn't believe they were missing. I believed that she was going to punish Chris. She was just going to punish him, take the girls, and just punish him. I had no idea of anything else. Christopher called and said, "Mom, they're searching the house." I said, "Okay, that's fine." I mean, and I still was not worried. I was not worried. I just thought Shanann had run off with girls. All I want is the truth. I just want the truth. That's it. And I know Chris would take responsibility, and I guess maybe he is. I don't know. I just can't see him doing that.
What do you think the truth is about how Shanann and Bella and Celeste died?
Oh God, I don't know anymore, honestly. I don't know his frame of mind, and I don't know his frame of mind, because why would you plead guilty to something you didn't do? And that's all I want to know. Why would you plead guilty if you didn't do it? If you told your dad you didn't do it? And that's what I want to know. And they said, well, you'll find all that out. Christopher will talk to you when and after he's sentenced. Well, isn't that too late then? I mean, is it too late? What if he tells me, no, I didn't do it? I just took this plea deal because they told me I was going to go to jail anyways. I just want the truth. All of us just want the truth. That's all. But I would like to know what triggered it. How can a normal young man, and he's normal, he was normal, but he wasn't evaluated when he came into the system. He wasn't normal if he did this.
It must be bewildering.
It's bewildering to me. It is absolutely. How does this happen? How did this happen? And I go back in my mind thinking, was there something I didn't pick up with on Chris? But I can't think of anything except he was quiet.
It sounds like in your own mind, you're unsure as to what happened.
Yes.
Have you reconciled the idea that he could have done all of this?
Yes. And that scares me to death. It scares me to death to think that he could have done all of this. And I don't want to go there. I don't want to go there right now. But I don't see why he's pleading guilty. I wouldn't. I'd fight. I'd fight to the end. But then you ask yourself,
Facing the death penalty, he took a plea deal, avoiding execution. Granddaughter's final moments were revealed.
Say hi. Hi. You don't want to say hi? So I just wanted to come on here live. Say hi. 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 So Saturday's here. I don't even know what time it is. It's 8:30 here in Colorado. And I love waking up now on Saturdays and being able to enjoy my family. We never have to... Careful, Cece. We never have to really... we never have it determined where we're going. No plans, really. Summer's coming, and we're super excited. Bella, come here for a second, baby. We're really excited for summer because so much goes on in the summer here in Colorado. There's concerts every weekend, Friday, Saturday nights. There's always some kind of concert going on. And get together with friends, cookouts, and just enjoying life. And I'm really excited this summer because some of the amazing things that go on the weekends were when I was working for a company where I had to be in every weekends because that's the demand. The demands were always the weekends, so I needed more help. So I feel really blessed this summer. I'm going to San Diego with Chris. We're going June 22nd through the 26th. No, the 26th we come home at 1:30 in the morning. And then the 26th, that afternoon at 5:30 at night, Bella, Cece, and I and my dad are flying back to North Carolina for 6 weeks. 6 weeks we're going to be in North Carolina, but Cece, right? And we're going to go spend time with our families and friends and everything else. And then we're going to come back August 7th. And then I fly to Scottsdale, Arizona on the 11th for a mini little retreat with my team. And we're going to have a lot of fun.
This case serves as a chilling reminder that sometimes, the most monstrous killers don't lurk in the shadows, they live right inside the home.
Mistakes on who he puts in your life. Marriage is about love, trust, and friendship and unity. We marry for sickness and health to death do us part. Our daughter Shannon loved you with all of her heart. Your children loved you to the moon and back. Shannon's family was her world. Shannon put a crown on your head. But unfortunately, the day that you took their life, God removed that crown. We loved you like a son. We trusted you. Your faithful wife trusted you. Your children adored you. And they also trusted you.
Don't forget to subscribe for more true crime cases that expose the darkest depths of humanity.